So page 2 of the review sheet to factor these things completely. So with these, we're gonna break it down into the two binomials. Right, and remember our trick for this, we want the factors of 24, and we want them to add up to the b term, so b equals 10. So we want them to sum to 10. So factors of 24, so you got 2 and 12. Well, 2 plus 12 is 14, so that's not it. Another potential grouping, we could do 6 times 4, and sure enough, 6 plus 4 is 10. So looks like we found our two groups, or our two numbers. So our variable here is b, and then everything's positive, so plus 6 plus 4. Here we want factors of negative 90. So since that's negative 90, that means one's going to be positive and one's going to be negative. So we want them to sum to 1, right? That number in front of the x is actually a 1. So, for example, well, 90 ends in a 0, so I know, you know, 10 times 9 will give me 90, but I need it to be negative, so let me do negative 10 times positive 9. And then if I add those together, negative 10 plus 9 is negative 1. It's very, very close to what I want, but not quite. So what if I try it the other way? What if I do 10 and negative 9? And sure enough, 10 plus negative 9 is positive 1. So it looks like I found my grouping again. So my factors here, x plus 10, x minus 9. Number 14. So here we go. We want factors of negative 72. And again, they're going to add up to positive 1. 72, I know that's 9 times 8. I want one of them to be positive, one of them to be negative. And you guys are probably getting to the point where you're getting pretty good at this. If I combine 9 and negative 8, sure enough, they add up to 1. So sometimes you'll be able to get these right away. Sometimes it'll take you a few tries like the previous two. But sometimes, and you guys are probably going to get to the point where you're starting to really recognize these. X plus 9, x minus 8. All right, and then finally, number 15, we want factors of positive 24 that sum up to 11. All right, so let's see, 2 and 12, that's 14, so that one's not going to work. Let's try 6 and 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. That's not going to work. 8 and 3. 8 plus 3 is 11. Here we go. There it is. Finally found it. So b plus 8 and b plus 3. So factoring your trinomials into binomials. Remember, you want the factors of the last term, right, that c term, right, like in number 15, it's 24, that add up to the middle term, which is 11. All right, the next thing we looked at, make sure we're good with slope. Since this is a horizontal line, this has a slope of 0. Or you could also say no slope for a horizontal line. Either one of those would work, 0 or no slope. For number 17, I can tell you right away that's down, so that's a negative. And remember, it's rise over run, so we went down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, down 6, and then forward 1, so negative 6 over 1, and that'll simplify. You can just write it as negative 6. You might also need to go ahead and be able to find the slope given 2 points. It's okay. So what we'll do, remember this is where we can label our points, x1, y1, x2, y2, and remember the slope formula. If you're just counting, it's rise over run. Well, this we have the points. Remember, which variable rhymes with rise? Why, that's y. So it's y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. So now it's just a matter, let's plug it into our formula. So slope equals, so my y2 is negative 13, my y1 is 11, x2 is 8, and then x1 is 4. You can plug that all into your calculator at once if you'd like. Remember, you want to keep the numerator and denominator in parentheses. And so negative 13 minus 11 is going to be negative 24. And 8 minus 4 is 4. And again, we can simplify that down to negative 6. Number 19, we'll do one more of these. Label my points. So negative 4 minus negative 4 over negative 5 minus negative 12. This ends up being 0 over 7 for a slope of 0. Remember, if 0 is in the denominator, we could have problems, but in the numerator, it's okay.